All right, so Michael's got his on. Has this been on?
If it's red?
It's red, it's working.
Oh, yep.
It's 5, 6, 7. All right. All right, everybody ready?
We are.
Okay, here we go. All right, it is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 22nd of May, 2023. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. To my right is Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary. To my left, Mr. Michael Neustadt, who is the vice chairman. And further down, Mr. Dave Frankel, who is a regular member. Also on the far left there is Christine Murphy, who is a member of the Town of Brookfield Inland Wetlands, Land Use Office Administration. So she is with us tonight, and we are also very pleased to have Cassandra Varian, who is our recording secretary. So this is her first day, so we're going to be sure we do our job to help her get the meeting done right. So we'll just ask everybody, just make sure she gets your name and address. I'll be asking, and if she's got questions, she says she's going to ask us. So, all right, so there's 4 of us, so all 4 of us will be voting members this evening. Again, we make note the Town of Brookfield does not have right now an inland wetlands enforcement officer. So we'll just kind of tick down this report. I know, Christine, you can jump in if you wish. Let's see, I don't think we have anything new from 7/31. There was that big rain on Saturday. So I'm assuming that we will get one, but would not be expected from Saturday to today. 100 Candlewood Lake Road, that is the school project. Again, the conditions of approval there document a number of reports related to wetlands creation and wetlands restoration. Apparently some of that work is done. We have written a letter to Paul Checo asking for what their intentions are there to fulfill that commitment. I don't think we have anything from the Municipal Building Commission? Board? Municipal Commission, thank you. All right, so that's going to be a concern pretty soon. Let's see, 23 Grays Bridge Road. I see someone is here. I know we had a big rain. We wouldn't expect a report, but since you're here, we'll get your name and address and how is the site after that big rain? Okay, all right, so just get your name and.
Okay, my name is Carl, with a C. Okay. And the last name is DeStephanis. Okay. And that is spelled. That's right. You have it? Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So again, if you could just help us out, I know if you're away, just again, we need a report after every rain of 1 inch or more. And I got about 2.5 inches at my house on Saturday. So if you can ask your guys to get into that, please. All right, enforcement, 35 Merwin Brook Road. The conversation last week was Rochelle was not convinced that the first notice of violation. Right back, there it is. Oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you. I don't normally do that. She was not convinced that the original letter of violation that she sent would support the fines that we want to impose so that we get the restoration plan, which we've been waiting for about 5 months. And that doesn't,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that
Was
does.
there a fine? Didn't we agree that?
Yeah, there is gonna be a
Fines?
fine, but the challenge is, it looks like the only letter that she sent, that's when I went to go get the
Okay.
file, is a notice of violation. And a show cause.
You know, it seemed to me that when this started, we had a very difficult time reaching him.
I thought, and I'll have to look into it, I thought we did have a show cause. We all agreed that there was a violation. we can go back and look at the documents there, and we can wait for Laura to take a look at it. But I was under the impression that since we had the show cause and it was confirmed that it was a violation, that we could then move to fines at our discretion. Now, Rochelle said no, and it doesn't appear that anything has happened in the last 2 weeks that I can see.
I thought Rochelle was gonna, sort
So,
of take the
we'll
ball
just
and
have to,
run
I'll
with
just
it.
have to take a look at, I'll just take a look at this. I didn't get a chance to do, Rochelle thought she would have a chance to handle this before she, has moved on, but it doesn't look like anything
I believe
happened.
she's coming back,
Okay. Okay.
you know, for our next meeting.
I don't know, we'll have to see. So we're gonna leave this here, and I will take responsibility to go through the details of the documentation that the property owner got, because I think it's important that, and I think he does understand it, and he has told us that we would have gotten a plan by the 1st of May, and now it's the end of May and we still don't have it. So I will take it, like I said, I'll take it upon myself to figure out what it is we gotta get to, Mr. Kinsella to, set those fines up. 6 Deerfield Road, is anybody here from 6 Deerfield? Oh, there you are, great. You wanna come up and we'll get your name and address and, okay,
We could move a chair around.
yeah, you-
Sure?
yeah, yeah. Oh, no, we good.
No.
No, I don't think
They-
so.
You
I'm
sure?
okay with this.
Okay. We had talked about, just getting a plan, right, so we can get this all documented and, do we have a file on 6 Deerfield over there?
Well, I have the violation file, but I also have, it's under, new business. So I don't know if you wanna wait for new business, or?
I'll do it right now.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion and we go to. We'll take care of this right now. Agenda item 5A, W-23-26 Deerfield Road.
Second.
Michael seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, what a great picture. All right,
So if I could just touch, when we
Yeah.
met last time,
yep,
there were concerns from the neighbor regarding a gravel area adjacent to her property, some yard waste dumping adjacent to the wetland in the upland review area.
okay,
She had, and that was my invitation to come.
yep,
In her complaint letter, which I have now had an opportunity to read, she did also talk about a culvert across the stream, which I assured you didn't happen. She had referred to, I believe, a pipe, but you had asked for pictures of the stream crossing.
yeah, and you were kind enough to give us a little map here, right? That's what
Yes.
this is, okay, terrific.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I apologize,
Yeah.
I was working on it.
No, that's okay, this is the most important one. Bob, you can feel free
Sure,
to
that's
take a
just a
look here.
photocopy of it.
Okay, so I think you said your storage area is over here?
Right, so there's an asterisk there,
Yep,
which is where the yard debris does end up.
okay,
I put in some dashed lines here showing a line indicating an extension of the back of the house, as well as an extension of the back of the deck, as just indicators, so that if we were to look in 5 years from now, just that we had indications of where those terminated.
okay. So you've got a water course, where'd you get this map from? Is this one of the,
So this is from
is
the
this a?
town
looks like
GIS.
GIS, okay,
That I took some information from both maps. If you flip over to the next page here with the
Okay.
contours,
yep,
we can see where the wetlands would be, that they wouldn't be 10 feet upslope.
okay, so this
That line-
this goes up to your home?
Correct, yes.
Okay,
It was too busy having both the contours and the notes
it can be, okay.
on one page.
All right, and we got a nice little stream, and you've got 2 crossings. One is
Correct.
just the 2 logs
Two
here,
planks, yes.
and then you got this thing, what is this?
Yep, it's just more flanks with a more secure edging to that.
So where's the creek? I mean, I see something.
It does run directly underneath here.
Oh, it runs under that?
Yes.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Again, elaborate plans.
Okay. And they were here when you bought the
Uh,
home,
no,
or?
So I've been in the house for 19 years now.
Okay.
It is shown on the GIS map. That was not there when I moved in. That was an addition that we put on. The stream does bisect our property in half.
Yeah.
And we did not have access to the other acre of property in the back.
Okay. Well, instead it crosses it. It's not a culvert. It's essentially a very, basic open box culvert is what it looks like to me. So, all right. So one of them is here and the other's here?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
It's nice to get a, it's nice to get a map. It's nice to talk about what can happen in an upland review area and what shouldn't. So, we're glad to have this documented. I think probably the only thing we may do in the motion is to say whatever your yard waste is, it can't go down we'll have to figure out how I'm gonna talk about this, but it can't go down below that slope, okay?
Okay.
I mean, you said you had a topo here
It's
someplace?
the next page beyond this.
Yeah.
That topo is showing a slope. It is actually a rock outcropping that, it's pretty sheer, it's steep.
This is rock here?
There is quite a
Rockish?
bit of rock.
Ledge,
Okay.
ledge.
Ledge,
Sorry, excuse
okay.
me, ledge.
Well,
Thank you.
ledge rock?
Well,
No,
boulders
that's
first.
a better term.
Is it a better term? Okay. I think somehow we will, in the motion, I'm gonna suggest, that we wanna be careful that none of this slides into the
Yes.
inland, into the wetlands area here, because we're gonna go based on the GIS map.
Can we look at a photo of that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out,
So if we flip, so this is the wetland, that's all stone cabbage in there.
isn't that exciting? You got frogs down there?
There's quite a lot going on down there,
Yeah.
yes. And this is the deposition area is probably just out of view up here.
Okay.
But this is the very steep area, but there is a clear definition where the upland begins and where the wetland area ends.
Yeah, I said, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but I wanna make sure that, again, you can drop stuff in the upland review area. We just wanna make sure that none of
That
it's,
it's not ending up.
that it
in-
not ends up in there.
Understood.
So I'm trying to figure out, how we're gonna do that.
Can you put a numerical,
That's what I'm thinking, like,
number on it?
yeah, like,
70
except
feet,
it's like
50 feet, yeah.
yeah, except it's a slope, so it
Right.
isn't
Right.
like, that's I can't
More
go
than-
50 feet this way.
Yeah, I understand.
We could say something like, how are we gonna do this? So, is there no, we don't know this elevation line, do we? Do we know any of these? Because we could do it that way.
It would be difficult if we flip back to, I believe, the next page here.
Okay,
No, is there one more? So this is the top of the slope. This is the area of deposition.
Mount,
And this is probably the farthest reaching or closest to the wetland here. It then does return back in this way. I don't know that I could put an elevation on that easily.
that, if we did, that makes the whole thing easy, we'd
Yes.
say, from an elevation.
I see.
So, since we don't have that, what could we do? And I like your idea, 50 feet, except how do we measure a
Right.
slope?
Right.
We could talk about the top of the slope, that any deposition of materials.
Would it be fair to say that no deposited material would end up in the actual wetland?
That is a possibility.
I would also suggest that mention is made of the stream. It is a water course,
It is, yes.
and we need to keep that protected as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's all woods down here. Look, it's woods on
It
this.
is wooded
Mhm.
area,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, sometimes this can be an accurate tree line.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Some
just
kind of a
sug-
natural barrier,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
what,
to
yeah,
prevent,
that's what I'm looking for.
you know, you don't want a permanent silk fence there.
No,
That doesn't look
no,
very good.
no, 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 no.
Can you come up with some kind of a barrier, a natural barrier?
Planting,
It might be a little bit more intense than that, you know, because there's separation between plants. You want to keep all
Why don't
that
we
stuff
just-
from going into the
yeah,
waterway.
understood.
Why don't we, I think we'll be,
My concern would be with doing that, with putting that barrier in, it might cause more disruption of that wetland, because I will suggest it is a fragile system, especially this time of year. It does dry out for a bit, but it's wet now.
So you're saying any runoff
You know,
is good for the wetlands, right?
So,
we may just end up
just
with
off
the
of
top
my
the
property,
slope.
just off of my property on the neighbor's property is the outlet of a culvert from Deerfield Road.
Okay.
But again, it is just off of my property.
Where would you, on this map,
Mhm.
where would you put a line to say, you've got the base of your slope, where
Yes.
would you put the top of the slope? If you were to write that in, where would you put
I
it?
would suggest it is about at that, may I take that pencil?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you. It is about right in here.
Okay. All right, so this is the top of the slope, right?
Yes.
Right in here. It doesn't, okay, it's gotta be, your yard deposit has gotta be that side, the top of the slope.
Okay,
So, right, so we're gonna go like this.
Understood,
Okay, so
yes.
here's the slope, and you say it kinda runs a little this way?
yes, until it hits, this is a wall here, this line, and that's
Okay.
indicated on the GIS map.
Okay, but the slope continues to go this way?
I think we got a picture.
Yeah, we have topos that show it's still,
Right, so this is a pathway that
Okay.
comes up alongside, and it
Okay.
actually comes right up along this deck here,
okay,
right up to the top there.
all right.
So that is basically the edge of the slope,
Okay, but so the slope just continues along kind of this direction,
right here it is flush,
so the slope stops?
yes, it does.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so here's your top of slope.
Yes,
In blue,
yes.
okay, and so now we've got a map. We got a slope. We show that his debris is on the upside, of the slope. So when we do the motion, we can just say, as referenced on a map dated May 15th, which has been updated, we're gonna get you to initial this,
Sure.
that any yard waste will be on the
Upside.
upside of the slope. That will work, right? That's gonna
Is
work.
this
And then he
waste-
can use his discretion on how to do that?
Is this waste
Well-
from your property
It
or
is, sir, yes.
nothing you're bringing in from other?
No.
Yeah.
And where
definitely.
does it go eventually? Do you just let it rot in place? Or?
It does. So in our
Mhm.
last meeting, I did mention that the gentleman before me used to make canoes and used to hollow out large logs.
Nice hobby.
Yes, so a lot of this area
Yeah.
began with him depositing, and again, this is 25 years ago now.
So wood chips. And,
Wood chips as well as the cutoffs, as
Cut-
well as some failed
Okay.
attempts
At what? Failed attempts at what?
at floating.
Okay.
Oh, at floating?
Can I initial?
Yeah, just drop your initials in there someplace. Okay, I think that will work for what we're trying to do here, if we have a,
Yeah, I agree.
So you're
think that'll
saying he
work.
can sort of use his discretion on
Well,
creating a barrier?
no, we have on the map that shows there is a top of the slope,
Yeah, yeah.
and that any
Nothing can be
deposits has
below
to be on the upside of the top of the slope, and now that's on the map.
Mhm. But he
Okay.
can use his discretion to keep the residue on top of the slope.
Well, I think
Correct.
I think what you're saying is, that since they're,
We're not doing the specifics, in other words. years.
I mean, we could go on to say, and that this will be done in a manner which will prevent any of this sliding down the slope into the wetland.
Maybe,
Yeah,
do
we
you
could do
have
that.
an idea on what you would want to do with that?
So, it's funny, so just this week, I never ever bagged my grass clippings, but this week it was growing so fast, I had to bag the clippings, and they sat in a wheelbarrow until it rained, and then they started to smell. And then I had to put them someplace. And they are at the top of that slope, they're not down the slope, they're not any place other than at the top, but they had to go someplace.
Okay.
And again, it came out of a wheelbarrow, I can't get that to go down, it got dumped on the flat area at the top.
Okay, I think you're onto something. Well, we're gonna add to that, you can continue to do this kind of stuff. You just have to do it with consideration that you can't have it slide down, you can't have it slide into the wetlands. Whatever
Absolutely.
your discretion is, so I think that's a good catch. Yes,
It is new business though.
what's that?
You brought the stamp over, it is new business.
Oh, it
I
is.
think we have to have another, do we have to have another meeting?
No, this was,
It was under enforcement though.
under enforcement.
It's at your discretion.
We
Yeah,
can
that's
move
right.
it, can't we, on the agenda?
No, you're right. You're right.
It's new
I can't
business.
approve it tonight, I want
That's
to.
okay. Understood.
But Christina's mentioned
I
that,
was aware of that.
yeah, we do need to wait the 2 weeks. I was thinking it was on a new business, we had it as an application, but you're right, it wasn't. So I am not seeing anything. I think we'll
Mhm.
make a motion, we'll try and catch that element that he's gotta be careful of how he puts it in so it doesn't run into the wetlands. But I think we're gonna be all right.
Super.
Do
Okay?
you think Mr. Eddie is going to have to come back in 2 weeks?
I'd be happy to.
You're
I can bring more
welcome.
pictures. You want
No,
pictures?
no, I don't think you, you're welcome to
Why
come.
do wheels spin?
Yeah, you're welcome to come, but I don't think you have to. I think we'll just wait, unless there's something happens
Can
with the
I
neighbors.
see the second picture of the
Thanks,
crossing?
Christine, for reminding me of that. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
That is looking downstream.
Mhm.
So we are standing. Let me find that.
That's all right.
Could I steal that
yeah,
back
the-
again?
The stream is running under this.
Under here, yes,
This
so we're
way.
standing in this location.
Yeah,
Looking
looking-
in this
yeah.
in this direction.
Okay. And is there anything other than the original stream below this?
There is a little bit of round river gravel for the water to ripple over when it's not moving very quickly.
And that's something you put in?
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It is something that I put in, yes.
Okay.
It does, so the ground is very sandy in our area for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, the entire neighborhood is. It tends to erode very quickly when that water gets moving, so that little bit of.
Excuse me.
That little bit of gravel was put under there, just,
Mhm.
again, just to let the water trickle through, in lower water flow.
Just as a point of information, if for any reason, we're gonna not deal with this, I mean, this should have also had an application when it
Understood.
was put in. So if you wanna do any big changes to it in the future, you'll have to come in and we'll modify. But we'll have an application to start, as a point of reference. So,
It's been there since I think maybe 2008-ish, 2007-ish. We got good use out of it.
yeah, but it should have had a permit. So we're getting a bunch of good things out of it. I mean, I think we probably would have approved it, cause it's an open box, it's an open
Mhm.
box, it's not a culvert, so.
Yeah. and-
All right, well then, I'll make a motion then to continue, 6 Deerfield Road, W-23-20 to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
That would be
Second.
June
Bob.
12th incidentally.
What's that?
June 12th.
Yeah, whatever, whenever it is.
That's
Bob
quite a while.
seconds that?
Is it-
Bob seconds
Yeah.
that motion? So all in favor, no, and I did not put a date in it. Did not put
Okay.
a date, and I'll tell you why in a second. So Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. The reason I don't put a date into the motion is because something could happen,
Mhm.
and we don't have a meeting on the 12th.
Hmm.
And then the motion gets all
Okay.
screwed up.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
All righty?
So this canoe maker, he didn't try to put it in a
All
little
right.
He did not, no.
stream there.
Okay,
He
so,
did not.
all right, so it'll be on his old business. You're welcome to come. I don't think you have to.
Appreciate it.
all right? Okay,
Thank you
take
so
care.
much.
Thanks, Mr.
Okay.
Reddy. We appreciate
Okay.
your cooperation,
No, I
by the way.
appreciate yours.
So
Thank
it's
you.
actually
Have a good
3
night.
weeks,
All
the
right.
next meeting.
So
Yeah,
that is that.
okay.
That's all I was
That's that,
questioning.
that's that. Thanks again, Christine. All right, now we're gonna go on to,
We're gonna get
old
back.
business. And thank you for bifurcating 100 Candlewood Lake Road, because there are 2 threads here. There's thread number 1 of the reports, and then there's thread number 2, which is the conditions of approval. Again, we're going on 2 months from we sent the letter, and we do not have anything from, Mr. Checo and the commission on how they're going to deal with the shortfall of about 700-ish square feet of wetlands creation. Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue 100 Candlewood Lake Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
So
second it.
moved.
Okay, I got Bob here, you beat you, Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Are they going to be notified that they need to, that they've missed their deadline?
I didn't, I don't
Did they
remember-
have a deadline?
No, we did not give them
Oh,
a
okay.
deadline. We, I don't know what their story is, you know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a
You're
note
talking
should
about
be
the
sent to
creation, the
them?
wetlands creation.
I'm lost now. What?
Maybe we should send them a note about a plan for wetlands creation that we need.
We did. We did, on March
Yeah.
28th.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Well, it's 2 months later, maybe,
No, he's got it.
mhm.
He's got it. We know he's got it, because that's the second email, response from the email. they got it.
Okay.
Yeah, we know they have it. You know, and I think we let them know that's the kind of thing that can hold up the condition or
Approval?
Oh, yes.
certificate of occupancy. Alrighty, now,
Oh, well, do you think we should send them just a little reminder note, maybe
you
after?
wanna send them, I
What
don't
did
think
the
we need to, I
response-
don't think we
really
need
want
to.
to.
What did the response say?
It
You
just said,
remember?
we have your,
Oh,
the
just
email, it said, we have
the-
your email and we're gonna get right on it.
Okay, just
Or some-
acknowledging.
Or words to that effect.
Okay,
Or
No
words,
specific
maybe he didn't say
date
get
or-
right on it, he said, we will get on it.
Yeah.
So,
no specific date, okay.
all right. Okay, next, W 231625 Yankee Drive. Is anybody here for Yankee Drive? This is the one where we were
Yeah, the
asking for-
driveway.
I was gonna
driveway.
update the application, she had called me on Thursday, and
Okay.
she said she was gonna send it, and I never received it.
Okay, all right. I mean, I hate to hold it up for that, but the application has to be right. The application
Yes.
has incorrect information
I
on
can
it.
call
and
her
I-
tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And ask her what's
Okay,
going
thanks,
on. I meant
Christine.
to call her today, but it.
Yeah, because I don't think vehicles can go up the driveway at this point, which isn't good.
Well, it's probably not.
But it was sort of a technical issue on the application.
I just need her to
Mm.
tell me what she's doing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And I think she
yeah.
knew she needed to do it. I'm sure she's like the rest of us, and she's terribly busy.
It was the size of the pipe, I think, that was just needed to be changed.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I
said,
think
yeah,
you're
per
right.
previous, and we didn't have the previous, so all we need is a number in there. All right, then, I'll make a motion then to continue W 23-1625 Yankee Drive to our next regularly scheduled meeting with the understanding the land use office will call the property owner and ask them if they need any help getting that application updated. Bob seconds. Any discussion on the
You're
motion?
not fast enough. No.
You'll get the
That
next
was
one.
pretty
You'll
good.
get the
It was
next
on
one,
We'll,
Dave.
we'll give you one,
We'll
Dave.
give you the next one.
Yeah, we can.
All
Go
right.
back and forth.
Yeah, go
That's
back
all
and
right.
forth. All right, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All righty. 23 Grays Bridge Road, application for a modification. All right, we'll get names and addresses over for Cassandra, please. Do you guys want some chairs? Steve, are you sure? I don't know.
We've got a nice
Size.
chair here,
Do
it's
it that
low
way.
too, so.
Okay, let me see what do we have the updated map?
Yeah, I got, I'll put,
You
I
got
think
it,
we-
but do we have it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in the,
Doe, U, Lane. That's a round bridge. 105, 7.
Sure, yes, that's fine, she can take it.
Managing partner.
510?
We'll take it. And then that's Steve Sullivan,
From CCA.
CCA, LLC.
Okay, so what we were looking for, Steve, was, if this slope changes, you know, over the distance.
Yeah.
So we were trying to understand, you know, what is gonna be grass, what's gonna be riprap, what
Yeah.
was the size of the riprap? And I think we had talked about just
Yeah, so
cutting a
we
couple
create,
profiles.
B, C, and D.
Okay. Oops, one second. Thank you, Michael.
That's right, I got it.
So here's section BB,
Okay,
right? So you have the parking, then you have the 1.5 to 1 slope, which is riprap,
okay,
modified riprap. And then we showed the silt fence line demarcating.
okay,
So between the narrow strip between the silt fence and the toe of the riprap would be the seed mix on our landscaping plan.
okay.
That has not changed.
All right, so I mean, this is like 1 inch or 2 inch or 3 inches or?
Modified riprap is 6 to 12 inches.
Okay, I was gonna say
It's
it
a
looked
mix.
bigger, okay, thank you for that.
And so,
All right, so modified here,
yep, all three, all
Okay.
modified.
okay. And that's gonna work, I mean,
Yeah.
to, and you got curbing on all of this, right? There's
Yeah,
curbing
oh yeah, there's
before this?
curbing, yep,
Yeah,
yep,
the guardrail,
yep. There's no runoff going over the slope. And
Okay.
that all goes into the catch basin system and into that infiltration basin.
okay, cause you had talked about, one of these was particularly,
But they raised it 2 feet.
yeah, but I think you had said one of them was particularly, steep, right?
They're,
I think it was the first one.
Was
The
it-
the one
they're
that
all
right
one
where
and a
they
half
think
to
the-
one.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, I think we had talked about one of them might have been 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 or something like that, so,
Well,
Before it was 2 to 1.
okay,
Now it's 1.5 to 1.
okay,
And that's why we're using the riprap.
okay.
Okay. Oh, we'll talk about that.
You guys gonna have to you're gonna have to reset the silt fence, right, to do this,
No,
or no?
no.
Okay,
Nope, the silt fence has not
No,
changed.
that's-
okay,
Nope. Oh, there's a narrative down there too.
And basically what you're doing is you're raising the
Here's the
building
grade,
a little
here's
bit,
the
so
grade.
there won't be any
Building
flooding.
part.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanna make sure
Yeah, so this is the one
Yeah,
that's gonna
right.
be
because
Is that
if
the
it floods,
the
we're
steeper one,
self-sufficient.
right?
Yeah, yep, no, I
Look,
understand.
visually it looks
That's,
steeper, but you're saying it's still 1 to 5?
And that's,
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
That's section CC. right?
Yeah.
is that CC on
DD.
this map?
DD,
DD.
DD, okay.
all right. Okay, well, I appreciate you doing that. We wanted to understand, like I said, what was gonna be steep and what was going to be whatever, and what was gonna be riprap and what was gonna
Yeah.
be seed, and it looks like everything's gonna be riprap.
Yeah,
Strip
on that
to
strips there, yeah.
Well, you've
Um,
seeded here.
That's just at the toe.
Yeah,
Little
Wherever
toe.
at the toe in the silt fence will be seeded.
Okay.
That'll be that flat area.
And then, cause over here, it's still, you know, although they're, you know, not the greatest vegetation of all time, there's still trees over
Off the-
here.
oh,
too.
just off
Still
the
river.
property line?
Yeah,
Yeah.
off the property
Right,
line.
right.
Okay, alrighty, so,
Where's the bank of the Still River? Is it this line here coming away?
That's the edge, yeah, it's going away. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
alright, so. So we have this, this is gonna be the modified plan that I think we can prove tonight, cause it's old business, thank you. And I think we're all set. Yes, Steve, what?
Nope, I was just gonna say 510.
Yeah, 510, yeah. Now I'll take the stamp.
I didn't know you put it back,
I
I'm sorry.
did, I didn't wanna have it too close at
No,
hand.
that's okay.
All right.
Where's your helper today?
He's in Reykjavik.
He's where?
Yeah, and my son's in the VC business, and they're having some startup conference in Iceland.
Supposed to be a great town for partying.
I've been there. It's not bad.
Okay. You wanna make it, or I can make this?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve, W-23-19, 23 Grays Bridge Road, which is a modification to the original plan. The modification describes a, change in the
Elevation.
topologies?
Topology? yeah.
Topographies?
proposed
Thank you.
topography.
Yeah, the proposed topographies on the
Building.
eastern side, on the eastern side of the property as described on a set of plans with an original, by CCA, with an original date of 3-23-2022 with a last revision date of May 10th, 2023, and all the original stipulations for the approval remain in this modification, which includes the monitoring of, and the report after 1-inch rainfalls.
Okay. Is that
Um,
within 24 hours or 48 hours or?
I think it's it's either 24 or 48. I
Okay.
just, it's in your permit.
All right.
I just
okay.
don't remember.
All right.
Yeah, I
40.
think, whatever.
No, I just made it.
So I think that's it. We kept all the other and any other stipulations that were in the original approval will carry through in this modification.
We have been sending in weekly reports.
Second?
I'll second that.
Dave seconds that? Yeah, and that's what we appreciate, that's a part of your permit, which is after a rainfall, we need to understand how your erosion plan is holding up, so that's a report. So if it was a bigger project, or things weren't working well, we would have probably hired a third party, and they would have done it and you would have paid, okay? All right, any other discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, guys,
Yep.
thanks,
Right.
Steve.
Well,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thanks.
Take care.
Take care.
Today's the 22nd.
Take care now.
All right, so that's that, this goes here, this goes there, this on top. All right, next is,
This gentleman here?
I think so, if you are 126 North Lake Shore?
Yeah,
All right, yeah, you've heard us, you could grab a chair if you want, I don't.
We have a nice chair
Yeah.
over here, it's a little low,
Yeah.
but.
Oh, yes.
Come on,
You
Christine.
certainly can. Yes, you may.
Would you like
So
this
we're
chair?
gonna get your, name and address so Cassandra can,
Jason Stewart.
34 Sunrise Road.
okay, and I'm sorry, was Mr.
You don't need bids up or anything, it's just, I might just put you down as just a member of.
Yeah, that's it, man.
All right, I'm sorry, it's Mr. Stewart, did I hear?
Yes, well, you're gonna have to talk.
All right, so before we get going, I just wanna make note, there is a typo on the, agenda here. I understand it's a 6-bedroom home. Yeah, not 5. For the, again, maybe for your information, the Wetlands Commission doesn't care,
Right.
right? Other people will care very much.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He made note of it.
They will care very much, but from a wetlands standpoint, it's, so we corrected that typo. So we have a plan here from Gallagher. Is this one we ought to be looking at? Look familiar? What is going on here?
Honestly, I haven't looked at this at all. My boss couldn't make it down. He had to
Okay.
come down.
All right, we'll look at, well,
I'm
let's
not
look at
even working with
let's
this
look at the
project.
application then. That's a good, sometimes that can be a very good place to start.
It's
All right.
fairly easy, demolish existing dwelling, construct new 6,400 square foot dwelling with attached garage.
Yep, so total acreage on the property is half an acre, disturbed wetland is 0, that's my favorite, my favorite number. Total wetlands on the property is none, disturbed linear feet of water course is none, my favorite number. Total linear feet of water course, probably unnecessary, it is
Sounds
also
pretty good to
none,
me.
yeah, okay. All right, so that's good, we got numbers on the application, that's a beautiful thing. So, is that right? What is there is being demolished, and they're putting up a new one? Okay, so where's the street on this?
North Lake Shore
Here?
Drive.
Where's the street?
126 North,
Where's the street on the map?
oh,
Should be up here.
Where?
Oh, it's not showing.
Okay, all right, so that's good. So here's Kenwood
well, is
Lake.
there a north-south?
And where's the 440 line? 436?
Right here.
440? Where does that go? I see I see a 436 topo, I see a
Yeah.
438 topo. Oh,
440
here it is, there it is, there it is, yep,
appears to go right in through here
okay.
and down this way, and it sort of ends here, so I'm not sure
Okay, so
where
let's,
it goes from there.
so there's one line. Where does it go from here, Michael?
That was hard to tell. I think it goes up,
Doesn't seem to, here's 436, there's
6,
438, it
8.
should go,
this way. Yeah, it's not really, is this it?
I don't know, that ends.
Yeah.
I don't know where the
and
four-
this, and
Do
I'm
you,
just
Mr.
saying-
Stewart, do you know where
Yeah,
the,
no, I
can you
don't
help us
see
with
it.
And the
this?
same thing happens here, it seems to kind
dies.
of just end there.
You're talking about the present building?
Well,
No,
no,
we're
we're just
talking
talking
about
about where the
where the
440
440
line
line
is
is.
Oh,
in,
the four, okay. I
in
need some-
relationship
I
to
know, I see
the,
that.
I don't
yeah.
know, to see if I can.
Well, it's, you can see, like, here's the 436.
yeah.
It's gotta be a little bit lower than that, that's it,
Yeah, so it's,
or higher.
or it's here, there, I see 440, and there's a line,
But that's all it does.
but that's all it does. It dies here, this line dies, and it dies there.
That's what it appears to do.
Okay, so one of the things that I think you're gonna get as a homework
Yep.
is ask Ralph
Sure, the 449.
to,
Define it.
yeah, bold,
Yeah.
maybe, bold the 440 line.
Yeah, across the entire
Yeah, across from, you know, what, north to south?
property,
Yeah.
because that's going to define where our area,
There's a big
Of
house there
interest
right
is-
now, isn't there? Isn't there a big
Yeah.
house?
Yeah.
There's a big one, right? Big, very big.
Yes.
That's the
this-
one
I
they're
know this
taking
lot.
down though, I guess,
They get a
right?
new one.
they're getting a bigger one.
They got a big one.
And the one that's there right now, it's actually a different footprint than what they're proposing.
Okay, so now,
Am I right?
Yes.
uh, do
And you also have a swimming pool, and that's gonna remain?
The pool's remaining, yes. That I know.
Okay, where are all these, where are the leader drains going? Approximate existing septic system to be used for stormwater management, is that? I see something going here. I don't know what this, there's leader, I don't know where this goes. There's a leader drain. Here's a leader drain, that's a dark line. But I don't know where it goes. Do you, Mr. Stewart? Where does this go? I mean, I can see what he's trying to do. Something here probably connects to the house somehow, but they die. Is there any, do we have anything else that describes that process?
Well, as long as you're taking notes, it clearly define the 440 line and,
Yeah, I got that on.
okay,
Okay.
good. Sorry, I didn't wanna tell
Yeah,
you
so
what
we
to
got
do.
that, and then I think we're gonna,
That's what I'm here for.
Leader drains
Bring-
go into
bring
the
questions
septic,
back.
they do, but
but where from, is that
from
your?
where from?
It could be they're not proposed, but existing, because the existing dwelling is right there. There's the line of the existing dwelling.
Yeah,
So this must be a leader drain from the current home.
maybe, but how does it tie to this one?
It doesn't seem to show.
Doesn't seem to show.
You know, Michael, it doesn't have the complete existing dwelling footprint either.
It is here.
It is, where
takes
is
some,
it?
it takes some following, but existing four-bedroom dwelling to be removed with arrows here, so it's this dotted line.
Which one?
There's a, let me see, you see existing right here?
Hmm.
It starts here, there's a dotted line, a dashed line, I guess you'd call it. That seems to be the footprint of the existing dwelling, and it continues over there.
Do you,
Here, you can see it a little bit here on
Oh.
this map.
do you see
Hmm.
the proposed, here's the proposed silt fence, there's a bunch of dotted lines. equal dotted lines. Do you see that, Mr. Stewart, on this plan?
Is that the house?
I'm looking for the silt fence. Where are they gonna put a silt fence? He's got it on the legend, proposed silt fence. It's like a line with a square in it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
That's gotta be it. That's the same size, but yeah.
All right, so this is the silt fence, so we can mark this
Here
out,
we
because
go,
this is
yeah,
ours.
proposed silt fence right here.
The
Okay, thank you.
problem with that is the silt fence is below the 440 line.
That's,
At
why
least
is that a
right here.
problem?
I don't know. If
I don't think
if
it
we
is.
can't regulate,
I don't think it is.
okay.
Yeah.
If
I don't
we
think it
can
is.
require a silt fence on their property, on First Light's property.
Well, they're gonna have to get their approval.
Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna have to do that. I mean,
yeah.
are you sure you don't want a chair? You look very uncomfortable. They're gonna have to. I mean, the house
I
is.
agree.
The house is there. So this is the, okay. We're also gonna want a construction sequence, you know, which starts with, installation of the silt fence. And they may actually need it, I think kind of into your point, they may actually have it sort of staged. They may have to go further down to get this house out,
Mhm.
and then
She
maybe
doesn't
change
do that
it a
for
little bit.
everybody, you know.
Yeah, we need a construction sequence that says.
I think they have one.
Yeah, you're right. It came as a separate piece of paper. Is that
not
for
in the
this property?
application.
Yeah, 126 North Village Shaw.
Yeah, here, the names and addresses of abutting and construction sequence.
Can I get the, receipt stamp? That was not in the folder.
I don't know where this came from, then.
Are you all right? Sorry, I
Construction
keep
sequence for,
bumping into you.
okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I have it, so.
Okay. Heather
Familiar?
from RJ Gallagher just sent me all of this stuff this morning too.
Okay. Maybe that was sent separately.
If I remember correctly, there was no note of a silt fence on there.
Well, there is on number 3.
Oh, okay.
Install silt fences
Oh,
as
there
needed
is,
to
okay.
protect lakefront. Call, land use for inspection before proceeding. Does that sound familiar? Installing silt fences and you get approval from the, sound familiar? Once you get the silt fence in, most of the towns do this. You call the land use office and either the zoning enforcement officer comes out or the wetlands enforcement officer comes out and says, yay, yes, the silt fence is where it needs to be, or, you know what, that's where it was in the plan, but now looking at it, it should be in a slightly different spot. And you have to get their approval before you go to the next step,
Okay.
okay? Do you know, how are they're gonna bring like big excavators in to take this house out?
I'm not sure.
That's another homework. We just need to know. They can do whatever they want. I just would like to know, are they gonna take it out with a crew of 57 guys? Are they gonna bring an excavator? You know, how are they gonna dismantle that?
And where does the debris go afterwards?
Well, I would think if
Stockpile
it,
off-site,
if it goes, yeah.
yeah. And removal of all construction material from the site. Excavation, new foundation, stockpile off-site. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right.
It does say at the bottom, one large excavator
Oh, yeah, it does,
will
doesn't it?
be on site to perform the scope outlined above with trucks and large dumpsters on site as needed.
Okay, so
The
we do
last
have
bullet
that, so we
point.
can scratch that off. Thanks, Dave. Other than that, I don't see a problem with this. We just need to get the plan, tweaked to make sure these
The
leaders
plans.
go to wherever they're gonna go. I mean, they're putting it, and then approximate existing septic system. The only other thing, yeah, see, now here's another, there's, oh yeah, is there an overflow on this? Tank, there is a homework question there. How is the overflow from this tank gonna be handled? You know, if you get like 9 inches of rain? And then, how, he may need, how do we know, how does he know that tank size is correct? That's the other homework question.
Yep.
It looks like it's an existing septic tank and he's just gonna run the water into it.
I think it said,
No, actually,
yeah,
you've got
it
proposed
says
pump
at the
station.
bottom, Sharon,
Well-
septic tank area consisting of 2 rows of
Yeah, no,
X.
I understand septic system, that's fine. I'm over here on this. It looks like the leaders from the new house are gonna go to the, what it says, if I'm reading it right, approximate existing septic system to be used for stormwater management. It looks like they're gonna take all the roof drains and drop them in the old septic tank. Fine idea, except we need to know 2 things. How do we know it's big enough, considering the size of the roof for like a, 3-inch rainfall? And then second, what's the overflow process?
Yeah, what does it do when it gets full?
What's it do when it gets full?
Right.
Right. Because we don't want it bursting up,
Exactly.
having these 2 guys flop up, and now we got a big mess into the lake.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
That sound reasonable?
Yeah, I'll ask
Okay,
him.
all right. Other than that, I mean, you're right, they got the septic tank detail over here, but that's, the town can worry about that. Other than that, I don't see a problem. I think if we just get the documentation, we do have the construction sequences now in the folder. I don't see a problem with it. You guys, anything else?
No,
Okay, so, yeah, there's your homework. We need to understand where this 440 line is, bold it.
Yep.
We need to know, is that sized? How is that sized? I'll just pick it like a 3-inch rain, because that's what we're seeing now. How, is that sized for a 3-inch rain? If not,
what does it do when it gets full?
and then even if, whatever,
Yeah,
that
right.
part, I just need to know how that just, you can't just say we're gonna put an existing one in. We need to know that it's going to work for, say, a 3-inch rain.
Okay.
And then it will inevitably overflow, that's the whole point of it, because you're gonna get a 5-inch rain. Where does that go?
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Oh, we did this already. This
Yep.
has to connect, we have to show on the plan how these connect to the house. I think that's it.
It's not showing any leaders from the proposed.
I don't
Okay.
see any. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they're here, but I'm just not seeing
Yeah,
it.
I
I
was
see
just
this dark
looking.
line and it
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah, no, those were clearly from the existing
Yep.
house, okay.
Okay? All right, we're gonna be here, in 2 weeks,
3 weeks?
3 weeks, I
3
think.
weeks, we're gonna be here in 3 weeks. So we're,
With,
if we get the material, it'll be on the agenda
With
as
your
old
homework?
business, okay?
Sounds good.
You got any questions for us?
No, all set.
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Made it a lot easier than it originally seemed, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you wanna make the motion then?
I'll make a motion to
All right, take care.
continue. W dash 23-22, 126 North Lake Shore Drive, Camp Forges LLC, to our next meeting.
All right, do you have a second?
Second it.
Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
I'm in
Aye.
favor, aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so other business proper, we do have a public hearing. I understand that is all properly noticed for June 12th. And that's two of them, right? We're gonna have two hearings, one for the notification to the adjoining property owners, the second is riparian buffers. The second one is the beaver dam removal guidelines. So it is not scheduled for June 26th because all of the steps to make that happen are not complete, so it will not happen on June 26th. The exact date, because we have our new land use office manager / wetlands enforcement officer, we're gonna give her the opportunity, along with Christine, to sort of manage getting that into the process correctly. So the date for that is TBD. Once they get a hold of it and get the proper notices out, then we'll have a date. And the only reason is the DEEP is very fussy about how much lead time. Everybody else is pretty easy to get along with, but DEP wants a very specific pre-notification. Is that the right term? All right, that's gonna take us to review of the previous minutes. I looked at them, I thought they were terrific.
I saw no problem
Good to
at
me,
all,
too.
so
Are we gonna make that motion?
I'd like to make
Wait,
a
hold on,
motion that we
one second.
approve the
Wait,
minutes.
Dave's got a question.
No, let me just speak, read it again. I read it last, I didn't see anything. No, I guess it's okay.
You wanna change something?
Okay, we
I
ready?
don't believe so.
All righty, go ahead, Bob.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from the May 8th meeting, 2023.
Okay, I'll second.
Dave seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
We
Any
are, aye.
opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Informal discussion.
Well, nothing specific, except we did have some really horrendous rains over the last few weeks. And I haven't heard of any problems, which is a good thing.
Always a
But
good thing.
I'm anxious to see the reports on, what is it, 731?
Well, now I heard that it actually May was extraordinarily dry up until last
I
Saturday.
agree, that's what I heard too, Dave. I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
mean, there
there
was
was
a
a
lot of rain on
significant rain.
Saturday.
Excuse me?
It was a significant rainfall,
Oh, we
Yeah.
had this last one, but
Yes.
prior to that, it was dry.
correct.
That's what Dave was saying, and I agree
Yeah,
with that.
sort of extraordinarily dry.
Right. Yeah, they had fire warnings and everything. I was getting them on my,
Yeah,
Yeah, not nice.
very strange weather.
Oh, yeah, well, you remember it was we had almost a heat wave in April, and there was frost the other night. And there's supposed to be frost later in the week.
All that's important is that I can put my top down and it stays warm enough.
There you go.
maybe we
That's
for a
the
coat,
critical
Mike.
things.
Better
All
run
right.
for a
I can
coat.
turn the heat way up.
There you go.
Okay, well, with that then, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, Michael makes the motion. Dave seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. We are adjourned.
And Sharon, thank
Turn
you
off
for
the
running a
mics.
very efficient meeting as usual.
Yeah, well,
Turn
thanks
off
to
the mic.
Christine. I kept thinking, we had talked about that and talked about it and talked about it. And I said, well, maybe it was on the agenda.